Matt Rogers introduces us to a man from the inland Northwest who holds a world record unlike any other. Yeah, it's hard to watch.
A little hard to swallow for you?
It's hard to swallow, but you'll want to see it. Stay with us. You're watching The Wake Up Show.
10 past 6.
Before we went to break, we said it was hard to swallow. I said, you know, any way you cut it, it's a great story.
Cuts like a knife, lives life on the razor's edge. We're talking about sword swallower Brad Byers. If you haven't seen it, and just so you know, when this is when you're watching this, Kalai's face on the last one the whole time was like,
it's hard.
I mean, it is. He's like, you don't want him to hurt himself.
It's hard to watch, but I dare you to look away. Here's Matt's action cam.
Well played.
Brad, you know, last time we talked about your world record that you did back on the 20th down in Moscow. We talked about, you know, how you got started and all this, but if you're going to do 11 swords at once, you got to do some training, don't you?
That's right. To do more swords, I actually had to increase the natural diameter of my esophagus by stretching it.
How do you do that?
The technique I use is swallowing a Model T axle.
Okay, so let's see this here. Oh my goodness. Now you were telling me, well done, Brad. What do we got here?
This is a keyhole saw.
Little jaggedy.
In the beginning, my goals were much more modest. I hoped to perform in a foreign country at some point. I was hoping maybe Canada or Mexico. I had no idea it would take me to 23 countries. And I wanted to be on a national TV show. I had no idea that one day I would be on more TV shows than I can count. Well, life's just been an adventure. It's just a wonderful, wonderful ride that I've been on.
What would you say to anybody who might be considering this as a career?
Anybody thinking about swallowing a sword, period, I would say imitating anything you've seen me do will cause injury or even death, so don't do it. Well, this is a curved scimitar sword, and in order to get it down, I have to make my esophagus match the exact same curve of the blade. If I were to lean to the side a little too much or not enough, I would be seriously injured.
You ready to try it?
I'm ready to give it a shot.
Oh, I don't know if I'm ready to watch you, but I will. Here we go. Brad Byers, the curved sword. Oh, my goodness. It is all the way in there. Oh, wow. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Have you ever had any major injuries, Brad? In 40 years of this.
Well, the worst injury I had is when I was learning to swallow the handleless sword.
Uh-huh.
I let some negativity get into my mind. I wasn't in the zone to let the sword slide down, and the epiglottis closed off. I gently pushed just to try to nudge the epiglottis open and felt some pain. I withdrew the blade, which was just no further than this in depth, and it was covered with blood, size of, well, about a quarter-size spot of blood. It hurt so bad to swallow, even just my own saliva, I couldn't eat or drink for almost 48 hours. I didn't require hospitalization, though, fortunately, and I just quit practicing for a while and it healed, and then I went back to it.
Just right back at it, huh? Wow. What's next? I mean, are you always constantly trying to come up with something new? Is there like some kind of crazy sword out there that I've never even heard of that you're going to try to swallow?
Well, I'm always working on something new, and I do 20 acts, so I'm making improvements in various acts. The next thing I want to do is set the world's record, or break the world's record for the longest time balancing a running lawnmower on my chin.
What?
That's my next goal.
You have some interesting goals, sir. It's been an honor and a pleasure to meet you. And if folks want to see all of your stunts, there's a website, correct?
They can go to bradbyers.com, or they can simply type in Brad Byers on a YouTube search.
All right. Well, Brad, thanks for taking some time for us here at KHQ.
Thanks for having me.
You know what's fascinating? To get as good as he is at that, you have to start somewhere. So I'd imagine...
Exactly.
I'm sure there were a number of at least minor injuries as he was training way back in the day, but that's...
And you heard him too. If you ever want to try something like this, just don't do it.
Right. Yeah. Which is great advice.
Yeah. So don't anybody ever try to do that.
Yeah, don't try that at home.
Kalai, one more time, your face as he did the twist.
There were so many faces happening, mostly this.
She was like this, like watching through her fingers. Brad, if you're out there, well done.
All right, we've got from sword swallowing to weather.